Hello people, welcome to episode 20 of Soul Centered Millionaire TV and part 1 of a 4-part series that's going to talk you through how I 4 years ago was living in a caravan and today I'm a millionaire, and what steps I took and the action, the challenges, all of that in 4 parts. So 4 years in 4 hours. That's the aim of the game. That's the challenge that I've got. As you're getting logged in, guys, let me know who's here so I know who I'm talking to. I appreciate not. Hey Claire. Hey sister. Who else have I got in? Hey Lois, how you doing? Who else is there? It's lovely to know who I'm talking to, and I appreciate you might not be live as well. If you are live, tell me you're live. But also, if you're watching on replay, still say hey and tell me you're watching on replay, because I look at every comment. Hey Shanti, hey Anita, how you doing, lovely? So many awesome women on tonight, so lovely to see you all. I'm buzzed about doing this. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes just because I don't want anyone who's planned for this to miss it. Hey Sarah, how are you, lovely? Yeah, I don't want anyone to miss a moment. Hey Lucilla, I'm here for you live, yay. So, I am going to just tell you what I did at the weekend while people are getting logged in. I won't spend long talking about anything that's not relevant to tonight's training because there's so much to cram in. But it was James's birthday at the weekend, so we scheduled the whole weekend and it's just totally his time, and he milked every second of it because it's not very often he gets like to wear the trousers, make all the decisions, tell me what to do, tell me where we're going, tell me where we're eating, not have me nagging at him, moaning at him or snapping at him. So he milked every second, but it was awesome. We had such a nice time. We went out for lots of nice meals. We went boogieing, off-road boogieing through the mountains. That was really cool. So yeah, we've had a great weekend. Have you all had a great weekend? Give me some hearts if you had a lush weekend. Give me some hearts if you switched off, disconnected, and made time to fill yourself up with the good stuff so that you've got more to give when you come back hard on Monday morning, back to business. Awesome, so many of you. So I'm gonna start. I did a video last week, and the title of that video was how 4 years ago I was living in a caravan and today I'm a millionaire. And it was only a very short 10-minute video because that's the only time you've got on platforms like LinkedIn and Insta. So it wasn't a really lengthy one, but the reason that I put it out there is what prompted it was it came up on my memories on Facebook that 4 years ago I was in the caravan, and it was a bit of a moment for me because I was like, shit. I mean, I do have a discipline and a habit to reflect on a regular occasion and think about the achievements and the wins, but I hadn't oh, that's good, Emma. I hadn't really put it into context that was just 4 years ago. I just hadn't computed it really. So it prompted me to do that video. What I saw on my memories was an image of me recording a video. James had took the picture. I was recording a webinar, and I can remember that day I was getting really frustrated because there was kids running around in the background. There was just a lot of noise, and it was pissing me off because when you're in a caravan, you're like, hey Kylie, it's like having paper walls. You can hear everything. So there were really challenging points, but seeing that made me go, holy shit, like we've done a lot in 4 years. We've come a long way. And I shared the short video because I wanted to demonstrate to anybody that's circumstances are less than ideal right now, that's struggling, that feels like it's not going to get any better, that is beginning to lose hope, that feels like their goals and dreams are a million miles away. To anyone that feels like that, they can be closer than you think. And 4 years has gone like that. And if you start making the right decisions right now, taking the right action right now, life can be very, very different in a very short space of time. And that was the reason I shared the video that I shared. Now, off the back of that, what happened has been a little bit wild because Hey, Ola. I'm going to start saying hello now so I can make sure I get through everything that I want to share with you tonight. What happened is a lot of people reached out and asked questions and wanted to know, you know, the nuts and bolts. What exactly did you do? What action did you take? What strategies did you implement? What was the journey like in detail? And I thought, do you know what? They're great questions and ones that I'm happy to answer, because I think that this could help a lot of people in sharing this story, and I really, really hope that it does. I sincerely hope that it does. So what I decided to do was because I'm never going to cram it all into one training. So I thought I'll use Soul Centered Millionaire TV. Obviously, I'm here every week, same time, same place, sharing business tips and insights to people that want to women that want to build a large business that makes a difference in the world and gives them a life of abundance in the process. And I thought this is a great platform to share a 4-part series where I share with you what I did across those 4 years in detail. You know, the big story, the detailed story, the tangible things that you can take away and action and implement too. And the insights and the wisdom when I look back as well, because some of it's hindsight, some of it I couldn't see at the time, that can help you too. So who's up for that? Who's ready for this 4-part series and excited about hearing the story in all its glory and taking things away that you can action right away? Give me a yes if you're not just in tonight, because this isn't just about tonight. This is a commitment for the next 4 parts of this story. And it's not just a commitment to listening to me and going, oh, that's a cool story. It's a commitment to committing to action, not just learning, but taking action. So I want to see you. I'm not going to let this go. Like, everybody that's on, if you are in, I want to hear you say I'm in. So type in the chat box, I am all in, or definitely, or raise your hand, whatever it is. Sarah, Emma, awesome. I can see you all. Brilliant. Because I want you to see this through. I want you to, I'm giving up my time and sharing this stuff with you for the sole benefit over the next 4 weeks of seeing things change for you. That's it. That's all I want in return. But you've got to meet me halfway, because nothing's going to change unless you do. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I can see all your comments coming up. I am taking note of everybody that comments. And even if you're watching on replay, I still want you to comment. I want you to publicly pledge that you are all in, because at the end of each episode, I'm going to give you some top tips on reflection and then some actionable next steps to go away and implement. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I can see all of the people that are all in. So let's dive in. So I want to take you back to, one more thing, guys. One more thing that I'd love you to do is just share this while I'm live now. Just hit share, because I want to reach as many people as I can with these insights and messages. I never really ask you to share throughout these lives, because I'm like, if you love it, you'll share it. If you don't, you won't, and that's fine. But I'm asking you to tonight, because this is something that I want as many people as possible to be able to benefit from. And each one of you sharing it, or even tagging someone, like you might know an entrepreneurial friend or colleague that you think, okay, I want them to hear this and benefit from this too. Then tag them if you don't want to share. So let's get cracking. So I want to take you back first of all to where we were when we made that bold decision to leave behind a 4-bedroom detached house that we'd worked fucking hard for, full of stuff, 2 cars on the drive, to move into a small caravan with just a few pairs of clothes and not a lot else. Where were we and what forced that decision? So up until that point, James and I had a few different businesses, some lucrative, some an absolute disaster. Thank you for sharing, Louise. Some real success and some nothing at all came of it. Some wins and some failures, and nothing really extraordinary in terms of entrepreneurship, because that's everyone's story, right? We were totally self-taught at this point. I'd never had a mentor, a coach at this point. everything we'd learned ourselves by making a shit ton of mistakes. If I'm honest, I didn't know that it was really possible for me to get a mentor or a coach to help me. When I thought of consultants and getting business coaching, I imagine like a man in a suit going into like a traditional bricks and mortar business. Hey Laura. And giving advice for a fee and kind of, you know, showing you how to implement a different strategy into your business. I just threw up that sort of image and thought that it didn't apply to me with my business at the time or anything that I'd ever done, to be honest. So I didn't know really about this whole world of coaching and mentorship that was available to me should I have just looked for it. And up until that point, we just self-taught ourselves. I kind of wore that as a bit of a badge of honour, I'm not going to lie. Like, yeah, just never had any help from anybody. I thought in some way that made me more of a success story, more cool, I don't know. More worthy, I don't know. It was bullshit, really. I mean, it just meant that I had to make way more mistakes than I needed to. If I could go back and change that, I would. But, and I don't just say that because I'm now a business coach. I say I became a business coach because of the transformation that came from me being coached and having help from someone that had been there. But not just like someone that's read some business books and graduated from university and then gone in and become a coach. Someone that's actually fucking built businesses and has fell on their face and got back up and knows what works and has made mistakes. And at that point, you know, or up until that point, that would have been a smart move for me. But I didn't even know it was a thing. So we'd had a few different businesses. At this point, we were running a business which was based on promotions and marketing for traditional bricks and mortar businesses. So James and I had contracts with nightclubs and bars across the UK, and we had some big contracts, some great contracts that had took us a long time to establish ourselves enough to get noticed by and pitch for and develop a name for ourselves. And basically what we did was we made nightclubs and bars busy. It was our job to make them busy. It was our job to brand them and market them in a way that made them the place to be, so that people wanted to go there, so that they become trendy, they become the cool places that people just went to, that were always busy, that had a queue down the street to get into, the place to be seen at. It was our job to make these nightclubs and bars that place. So James had a ton of promotions and marketing experience in doing that. And I'd worked in traditional corporate and run other people's businesses for them. So I had a ton of experience in what it took to run a business operationally and strategy-wise. So we came together and built this business in nightclubs and bars, promotions and marketing. And we had some huge contracts. And it was on paper a big success because basically we got paid when someone walked through the door of a nightclub or a bar. Every time someone walked through the door, we got paid. And we had some huge clubs. So, you know, there could be 5,000, 10,000 people walking through that door in one night. And we got paid 5,000 or 10,000 times every time they did. Sometimes £4, £5, sometimes £10, depending on the door entry. So it was a lot of money being made for a night's work. Life was good. But we weren't building wealth. We were making money. There's a difference. To build wealth making money and building wealth are two separate things. What we were doing was making money and living the high life, going on expensive holidays, wearing nice clothes, buying this 4-bedroom detached house and having 2 cars on the drive, and having to keep making money to keep paying for the things that we'd got. Not investing in assets, investing in liabilities. Taking advice from the wrong people, dated advice that told us to get on the property ladder, put a deposit down for a mortgage really quickly and have your house, get your house because your house is an asset. Your house isn't an asset. Your house is the biggest liability. Assets make you money. Assets bring money in. Any of you that are a homeowner right now, when was the last time your home made you any money? It doesn't. So it's not a smart investment, but we broke our neck to get ourselves on the property ladder and be smart and sensible, and then made some not so sensible decisions like just spending what we'd got, and we'd got a little bit of savings and that was it. Problem with our business was that there was a shelf life on every contract that we had, because we constantly made ourselves redundant. Every time we did a good job, every time we filled a club and made it the place to be, we made ourselves redundant. Because then the club owners were like, well, it's full now, it's the place to be now, we don't need them anymore, we don't need to keep paying them all this money, so we can get rid of them now. So we were constantly having to replace the contracts we had through doing a good job. If you did a bad job, they'd replace you anyway, so you couldn't really win. You were never stable, you never felt secure, you were always chasing your tail and always having to work hard just to stay the same. And the second challenge was that it wasn't in any way passive, and it wasn't in any way scalable to a point where we could earn more money without getting busier. The more we wanted to earn, the busier we got, the bigger our workload, the less of a life that we had. And we couldn't really leverage ourselves out of the business because the contracts that we had were built on relationships. When we tried to leverage, this is where disaster struck. And this was a big lesson for us and what saw us living in a caravan. So 2 things happened at the same time. We decided that we wanted to go to the next level in this business. I'm sorry if you can hear my neighbours talking. We wanted to go to the next level in business, and to do that we needed a great team around us. Now, what had happened previously when we'd employed people to run these nightclubs and bar contracts for us is that they'd got greedy. We paid them better than anybody else in the industry, but they saw a lot of money being made every night, and they thought, after they were trained and confident in their role, I can do this, so why am I doing it for them? I could just do it for me and make all this money myself and not have to have them pay me. I could pay myself. I know what I'm doing now. The mistake these people made in thinking that way is they mistook the on-the-ground technician work they were doing for running a business. Behind the scenes, the operational CEO role was very different. They were doing the on-the-ground stuff, but because they were doing that, they thought, well, I could do this for me. I didn't actually know how to run a business, so it never lasted for them long. But by that time, the damage was done because they'd left, tried to compete against us, and we went through this cycle a few times. So this time round, I decided we were going to go again, and we were going to get a manager that we could trust. That was my strategy. I'm going to get a manager that we can trust. We're going to train him up, not somebody in the industry that's training in the industry that's going to want to learn from us and then compete against us, but someone that's not even in the industry, someone that we can just train and trust and that will work with us for life. That was my master plan. This guy happened to be someone that I spotted in a local health spa and gym that we went to. He just stood out to me because he got a really big smile and he was really approachable and warm and friendly. And he was the sort of guy that networked effortlessly. He built relationships easily. People just loved him. And I thought, that's exactly what this role needs. So I approached him and said, look, I've potentially got an opportunity for you. This is what we're looking for. This is why I think you might be a fit. We'll train you from scratch. He was earning just above minimum wage as a personal trainer, nothing to write home about. He'd got ambitions, he'd got dreams that he wasn't fulfilling. It ticked all the boxes for him. He was dead excited. And he became number 2. He became the guy with all the responsibility that ran the gigs for us. We paid him very well, more money than he'd ever earned before, and we treated him very well, like family. James and I are like this. We're all in or we're all out. We're like that in everything we do, whether it's business, friendships, learning something new. I'm either going to absolutely go for it or I'm not going to do it at all. And it's the same with people. I either love you and I'll die for you, or I want nothing to do with you. Like, there's not really any common ground with the people that we let into our life. And that's the way we were with him. We were like, he's our family now. We're going to train you, nurture you, pay you well. He became a friend, a confidant. We went out with him for meals. We socialised with him outside of work. I mean, we gave him the keys to our house when we were on holiday and were like, knock yourself out, bring your girlfriend round, do whatever you like. He looked after our dogs as well, so it was mutually beneficial, but we trusted him. That just, demonstrates how much we trusted him. On the way back from this holiday we'd been on, where he was looking after our house and our dogs, which is like my babies, so you can see how much I trusted this guy. I don't let anyone look after my dogs or have the keys to my house. I loved this guy and trusted him with my life. We both did. We thought a lot of him. while we were away, it started to, you know, what always made me sick about this story is on the aeroplane coming back from this holiday, we were looking through the book, duty free book, and there was a really nice watch in there, and I was like, James, let's treat John to a watch. He's a good guy. He does a lot for us. Let's do that. So we bought him this watch. When we landed, we couldn't wait to give it to him, and while we'd been away on that holiday, he'd started to plant seeds with our team that he might be setting up on his own, and what would be the possibilities basically of them going with him. He'd also started to have conversations that had got back to us with some of the people that owned our contracts to say, if I was to set up on my own and undercut what the deal that Michelle and James currently give you, I could probably use the same team that we've created in their business and bring them across, work for you without them, and give you some money for the privilege. That was the gist of the conversation. It's basically cutting us out. We didn't know that had happened. I didn't know that had happened when I was handing in this watch and saying, oh, thanks for looking after the dogs. And I didn't know that had happened when I was inviting him out for dinner, because I felt like I hadn't seen him for a few weeks, and we were like, let's go for dinner on Friday. And he turned up without his wallet that day and was like, oh, you'll have to get the bill, guys, and smiled. And we were like, oh, no worries. We got the bill. And all this time, we now know that he was plotting behind our back to take our business. It's the only way you could describe it. So that came to a head very quickly. We realised what was happening, but we realised a little late. Blind trust in the guy. Never thought he'd do it. Some warning signs were there. Some people had told us snippets, and we'd gone, no, John wouldn't do that. And it came to a head when it was too late. We lost our entire business and income overnight. The very next week, he was operating in the same clubs and bars that we'd put him in and trained him in, with our branding material, with our strategy, with our team. It just like we were never there, like literally. I'm smiling now, but honestly, it was the hardest thing I think I've ever been through, because it was, yes, the money, but the friendship, the feeling of betrayal, and the money. And I'm not going to lie to you, that was it's survival. That was how we paid our bills. That was how we fed ourselves. That was our livelihood overnight, taken by people that claimed to be our friends. It was awful. Now, what had happened a few months previous, which is the second significant thing, was that, bearing in mind as well, although we'd been earning a good income, we hadn't been securing our future for our wealth for the future. We'd been living a high life. We hadn't saved as much as we could. We had some savings, but nowhere near what we should have had for what we'd been earning. Lesson. But we were now in a situation where we had no income, gone overnight. Now, a few months before, I'd already been preparing an exit strategy, because it was on my mind that we'd been screwed in this industry multiple times. And the big thing for me was, I'd started reading books at this point. Can you believe, up until now, we'd already created like a 7-figure business in a traditional sense, in the nightclub and bar business. I'd never read a business book. Never read a business book. No wonder that it all collapsed and I fell flat on my face. Like, it's a really, really valuable lesson. It's not about him. I can't blame him for my circumstances. I can't blame anybody else for the fact that I ended up on my arse with no income. No one. The buck stops with me. That's my reality. My choices that equaled my circumstances. And that's true for all of us. There's no getting away with that. You can talk about other people and say it was their fault, they shouldn't have done that, they shouldn't have done this. And maybe that's true, but that's their shit, they'll get theirs. But what about you? What should you have done differently? And that's the only question we can ever ask ourselves. And at this point, I'd started reading books, and they'd planted some seeds, because I started asking myself questions I'd never asked before. Like, what do I want? Why am I actually doing this? Why am I building this business? And when I asked those questions and started goal setting properly, personal goal setting, where do I want to be? Where do I want to live? This business didn't actually give me anything, not a mind everything. It didn't give me anything that I really wanted in my best life vision. I wanted to be living abroad. I wanted to be traveling the world. I wanted to be location independent. I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to be able to work with who I wanted to work and work with people that I love working with, that are a pleasure, not people that are going to stick a fucking knife in my back as good as look at me. I didn't want to be in nightclubs and my feet sticking to the floor and dealing with piss people all the time. That was not what lit me up, so why was I doing it? And I'd started to already ask myself these questions, and I can see now, I started to ask myself these questions, I'd started to declare what I actually wanted, and things started to fall apart. But they weren't falling apart, they were coming together. It just felt like they were falling apart at the time, and it felt really hard. But through reading these books, I'd also recognised that I'd got some skill gaps in making that happen, because the business I was running was never going to give me that. I couldn't leverage it. I couldn't be location independent. I was never going to be completely in control of it because there was too many factors that were outside of my control. So I couldn't be completely free and wealthy from it. So I'd already knew that I needed an exit strategy, and I'd already started creating one. Now, around this time, my neighbour, my next door neighbour, who I knew on a personal level, but she never really told me what she did. She used to just say, oh, I'm in health and wellness, and that was it, and we never really spoke about it. But she'd started to post stuff on Facebook about the fact that she worked from home and she ran an online business, and it meant that she could be home with her children. I didn't have children, and that wasn't my goal, but it resonated because I did want to build an online business, and because I'd started asking myself some powerful questions, I'd recognised that I was never going to get what I wanted from this business, and I needed to learn something different. So I was open to new opportunities. I didn't really know what I wanted. I just knew what I didn't want anymore, and I knew what sort of lifestyle that I wanted to build. And also through reading books, I knew that I was missing out really on monetising the skills that James and I had. We'd been using digital marketing to fill these nightclubs. We'd been using social media. James was using Facebook to get paid sometimes 10 grand a night at 21 years of age, before Facebook was open to the general public. Facebook used to just be for university students. He was using it then to earn ridiculous amounts of money to fill nightclub student nights using Facebook. So he was like maximising this social media economy before it was even a thing. Like, we've got skills, but we just weren't applying them to anything that was going to give us the life we wanted. So we started to ask these questions of like, where can we use this social media marketing, branding, digital marketing sort of knowledge that we've got, but to do something that lights us up, to do something that's aligned with who we are. We're good people, we're nice people, we want to work with nice people, we don't want to be screwed over all the time. It needs to feel good. And started asking those questions and realised that there was some gaps. And I said to my neighbour, what are you doing? Because you I don't know what you do, but it looks intriguing. You post about it on Facebook, tell me more. She was in network marketing. Now, a lot of people will go, oh, no, it's like, sounds like a pyramid, or... And I'm not a network marketing professional anymore. That's not how I make my money right now, the bulk of my money right now. So I can give you a really unbiased pros and cons review and advice from someone that's been in network marketing. You'll learn more about this part of my journey throughout these 4-part series. Someone that's no longer in network marketing and no longer has my main source of income coming from that. There are pros and cons, but here's the thing. Too many people are fucking blindly skeptical. There are opportunities staring them in the face, like network marketing, for example, and they go, oh, it looks too good to be true. Oh, it might be one of them things. My friend's niece's cousin's mate did that and she lost a load of money, so therefore I'm not even going to look at it. I've never been that way. I've never been blindly skeptical. I'm a question asker. I ask a ton of questions. Because business is logical, it's not emotional. So just saying that feels too good to be true, or that doesn't feel right, or that seems like this is, what is that? What is that? I needed to ask questions, and the questions I was asking were, is network marketing a legitimate business model? Can you make money from it? Is it ethical? Does anybody have to lose out for my gain? Because these are the things that were important to me. Am I in control? And how long has the industry been around? Like, I wanted to just know the facts, and my neighbour started to introduce me to those facts. And network marketing for me wasn't something that I went into thinking this will be my lifelong career. It wasn't. I just thought this could be an exit strategy. It could be a way of using the skills that we've got and monetising a business online that gives us location independence and gets us more financially secure outside of the nightclubs. That's all I saw. There's also flaws. Did it, despite what they told me, do you have total control? No, you don't. It's not your product, so of course you don't. If it's not your product, then the product can be changed, reformulated, price points can change, that can go off sale, distribution problems, regulation problems. They're outside of your control. If a product goes off sale, your business becomes compromised. If it's not your product, it's out of your control. It's logical. People will tell you when they're talking to you about network marketing, it's for the now. Right now, your business is totally in your control. For the first time ever, you will get out what you put in. You will build, work hard for 5 years, never work again. It's bollocks. There's a lot of things about network marketing that are amazing. And you'll hear why I'm a massive supporter of the industry. But I'm a logical supporter of the industry that weighs up the pros and cons, that's real about it, honest about it. You also have a big chunk of your network marketing business that is dictated to by other people, because big incomes come from building teams of people, because the more people that are pushing the product in your organisation, your team, the bigger your turnover, the bigger your profit. So you need to be able to recruit people. But you can't make them do any work. You can't make them want it. You can't make them build a big business. You can guide them and influence them, but you can't make them, so you can't control it. And a large part of your income comes from what other people do. Fact. So there are some things that are outside of your control. I knew that. I went in with my eyes wide open. I did my homework. I knew what I wanted to get from it. It was an exit strategy. I needed to replace the nightclub business. I needed a 6-figure income. And then I could think about what came next for me. And in all fairness, what I've always wanted to do and always had wanted to do even before network marketing was help people, inspire people to live a better life. And through business, because I've always been very business has just always fascinated me. It was the one subject I excelled in at school, was business studies. I love it. I knew I always wanted to do something down that line. Now, when it came to getting started in network marketing, at the point where we lost our entire income in nightclubs, my network marketing income was sitting at around $1,500 a month. We'd been at it for about 4 months. I say I'd been at it for about 4 months, because James didn't want anything to do with it in the beginning. So I'd been at it about 4 months. I was earning about £1,500 a month. Nothing to write home about, but not bad from scratch. It's not many businesses you set up from scratch and turn that sort of profit. But it wasn't enough. Our outgoings was £3,000 a month. And the thing for me was, there's no such thing as overnight success, but you can earn a lot of money relatively quickly, quicker than you've ever been able to in the online space. Not just in network marketing, but in the online space through monetizing something, whether it be an online course, program, coaching service. You can make quite a lot of money quite quickly, and I knew that, but I didn't quite know what pieces of the puzzle needed to come together for me to do that. The company I was with network marketing was very old school in traditional in their approach. I ended up in a team that was very old school and traditional in that. Great people, but they've been building businesses for the last 20-30 years and doing it a certain way, like handing out leaflets and getting people round to have a party at home and knocking on people's doors to give them products, and not in any way aligned with the sort of life that I wanted to build for myself. So I knew from the way we'd filled nightclubs that the way to build this business was online. The way to build any business right now, where my focus needed to be, was mastering online, digital, social media economy, because that was what was going to give me the life I wanted. And I wasn't prepared to sacrifice that, because I'd done that already and it didn't work out, and there was no way I was doing it anymore. So I needed to learn how to do the things that I could see other people doing well, like powerful personal branding, attraction marketing, lead generation on automation, sales funnels, email marketing, all these things that I could see needed to happen and come together. But nobody was teaching that for free in my network marketing company. And that's true for most people. They were telling me to call my friends and family and ask them if they wanted to buy some products. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what business plan have you ever, other than network marketing, seen where it's based on your friends and family buying shit from you? It's just not a sustainable business plan, and I knew it wasn't. And if no one was going to show me the way, then I needed to find that way myself. So I was kind of back to pioneering and Lone Ranger on my own, but I was determined not to be self-taught this time. because I'd already started reading books and I knew that I needed mentors, I needed coaches, I needed courses, programs. I needed to invest in myself. If it was to be, it was up to me. There's no point in sitting there going, oh, my upline's old school, my upline's a fossil, so I can't succeed. The person that's training me for free in network marketing isn't teaching me what I want to learn, so I can't succeed. Bollocks. If I'm going to succeed, it's going to be down to me. But here's my dilemma. I earn $1,500 a month, and it's going nowhere fast because I don't know what to do to get it to move quickly. And my outgoings are $3,000, so I don't have any money to invest, like legitimately don't have any money to invest. So I started to think to myself, and I just got it on paper. Here's my problems, and here's what I need to make happen. Here's my skill gaps. Here's are the things I need to know that I don't know right now. And here's the things that are stopping me from learning. And the big thing that kept coming up was your outgoings are too big and your incomings are too small. This was the root cause of all my problems, because mindset-wise, I was just terrified all the time. I woke up in a state of anxiety. I went to sleep in a state of anxiety, and the bit in between was just a blur of me trying to work out what I'd got to do. And just terrified constantly that we were going to lose the house, and all sorts of things run through your head. You follow the rabbit. That was blocking me from being the best me. It was blocking me from being my most inspired, my most creative, my most motivated, my most productive. It was none of those things really. You've got to be the best version of you to have the best business, because you're the person running it. And I was just kind of operating in this haze of anxiety and fear. And I didn't even have the right strategies to make a success really, really fast. And no one was going to teach them me for free. And why should they? You know, so many people download freebie after freebie after freebie and try. Freebies are great, and we're so blessed that people impart some of their knowledge for free. But come on, realistically, knowledge and experience is fucking valuable. I've spent years now invested in myself. Knowledge, courses, programs, coaches, real-time experience of falling on my face and finding a way around shit. That is valuable. So back then, the people that I wanted to invest in had valuable stuff for me. I wasn't going to be stupid enough to think I could piece it together myself through free shit. Of course, how would people even get paid for their brilliance if we could just piece it together with free shit? Reality is you need help. And I knew it. I was like, okay, if I'm going to fast track my results and get the help that I need, I've got to get my outgoings small and my income high. That's the first thing. I've got to get my outgoings super small so I've got some left to play with, and it takes this pressure off. And that was what I decided I need to do, and I didn't even know how I was going to go about it. But isn't it funny when you get your thoughts on paper and you get clear and you declare that this is what needs to happen, the incomings need to come down. The outgoings need to come down. I need to find a way to invest in me. And you kind of declare that that's what's going to happen right now. The universe almost moves. Like, coincidentally, that weekend, my auntie invited me over to see her new caravan. She would just bought a caravan. She was like, come and see us, not far away from you. They were away for the weekend. Honestly, my reaction was, why the fuck have you bought a caravan? I had this image in my head of like something back in the 80s that's really damp and not for me. I was like, yeah, we'll come and see you. And it would just be nice to see them. I didn't care if they were in a caravan or a cardboard box. I wanted to see my family. But James and I drove up there. And I walked in and I was like, holy shit, this isn't what I imagined. They'd got like a flat screen TV and a kitchen and a nice bed area. And it was lovely. And I just fleeting passing comment went, God, you could live in this. And then the second thought was, I need to make my outgoings really low. And you could live in one of these. And I didn't care. Like, I was in pain at that point. I just wanted what I wanted so desperately that I was prepared to take bold action to get it. Most people aren't. That's the truth. I'm sorry if that offends you, anyone. Most people aren't. Most people will say stuck in excuses like, oh, my job sucks the life out of me, so I don't have any energy for my business at the end. Well, you choose to go there every day. Fact, you do. You have other options available to you. You're just not asking the right questions. You're not. And I started to ask the right questions. And that's why my circumstances began to change. I got in the car that night and I was like, James, we could live in a caravan. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We've never even been in a caravan on holiday. Now you want to live in one. And I could see him getting scared because he knows what I'm like. When I get something in my head and I get determined and fixated on something, I will make it happen. I could see the fear. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, just hear me out. Talked him through my thought process, and he was like, I don't know. I was like, let's just look. Let's just go on Monday and price them up. Now, obviously, we didn't have the money to invest in a caravan and buy it outright. So we did what some might say was stupid, and we got our caravan on finance. But it wasn't just mindless finance. It was with a long-term plan in mind. So I'd worked out, if we rent our house out, because it wasn't the right time to sell it, and I also didn't have time. If we rent it out, because the rental market was hot, so the buying market was not so much. If we rent it out, we can have the house rented really quickly. That money will cover our mortgage. It won't give us much left over by the time you've paid estate agent fees and stuff, but it'll at least cover the mortgage so we don't have to pay it anymore. We move into the caravan, and it was going to cost us about, I think it was 150 quid a month for the finance on the caravan. We had it over the maximum term, like 10 years. And I was like, we won't need it. We won't need 10 years. We'll have it over 10 years to keep the outgoings low. That's my priority, low outgoings. And we'll pay it off way quicker than that, or sell it or whatever, because this is just short term. 150 a month, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Some insurance on top made it about 200. We live really small. We sell everything we own in this 4-bedroomed house. Everything. Everything's got to go because it can't come in the caravan. We keep only sentimental stuff, which goes into storage at your mum's, a few pairs of clothes, and everything else we sell. We don't start saying shit like, oh, but we might use that TV one day in our new house. It's got to go because we need the money now. We release equity in everything we have, and it's not much because we don't have any assets because we've been stupid. But the stuff we've spent our money on, let's get some money back from it. We'll get some money in our bank account. Our outgoings will be super small, so then we can start using the money we do have coming in from this very small business that's very new online to invest in ourselves to get to the next level, because what we need now is knowledge and support and help. And I was like, James, in a couple of years, we will look back on this and we will fucking piss our pants that we lived in a caravan, because I'm telling you now, I'm going to be a millionaire. And he was like, okay, I trust you. Let's do it. And that was it. On the Monday, we went and picked the caravan. We got it out on finance. And then I thought, how can I turn this into an opportunity? How can I turn this story into an opportunity? So I started a Facebook group. And the Facebook group was, I'm selling everything I own to live in a caravan. Everything must go. That was it. That was the theme of my Facebook group. Because I needed buyers for my shit, but I also wanted eyes on me, eyes on my brand, eyes on my message, eyes on my story, because that network of people that I could build could then be monetized on the back end in my business, because it's all about building networks and monetizing, right? That's what building an online business is about, whether you're in network marketing or you've got a course, program, whatever it is. It's about building a network of people that follow you, that are engaged in your story, and then monetizing something, an end product at the end of it. That's what it's about. So I thought I can use this to increase my network. So I opened this group and I called it that, and I started telling people to add themselves if they wanted to A, follow our journey, or B, buy some shit from our house. And we literally opened the doors to our house, put price tags on everything, and was like, come in, have a look round, treat it like a shop. And what happened next was fucking incredible. All these thousands of people were being added to this group every day. I was waking up and there was just like join requests, thousands of them. I could barely have the time to go through them all. And I mean, everything in the house went like within a few days. Everything had just gone. People just wanted our stuff because of the story that was attached to it as well. It was like, oh, that shitty little candle there, I'll buy it because it's what it represents, because it's like you guys living your dream and going out, and I fucking love you guys. And it was, people were turning up just to chat to us. People were coming to our house and going, can we just talk to you? Because me and my wife have got dreams, and we thought that we couldn't make them happen because we've now got this house and we think it's amazing what you're doing and we'd love to do the same. And I was like, you can. The only difference between me and you is bold action. I decided to go, I'm doing this. And I'm going to go off now. We're going to live in a caravan. We're going to be really, really happy because we've got each other and our 2 dogs and a few pairs of clothes and the means to build a business. That's all we want. That's all we want. And watch us go, because in a few years we'll change everything. And everyone was really engaged in this story. The next thing I know, I've got a journalist turning up at the house. They want to feature it in the local paper. And then a radio presenter gets in contact. They're like, we want you to come on the radio. And then the national press got hold of it and it went off. So this group had thousands of people in it that then just wanted to follow our journey. And in doing that, we built traction, huge amounts of traction in our business, because the next question was, how can you help us? What do you offer? What is your business? And we started conversations, and conversations lead to business because they open relationships. So from that point of shutting the front door on our house, renting it out, getting in the caravan and going off that day, from that point to having nothing other than the money that we just raised from selling everything, and the network that we've just created with our story, in 6 months from that day, we went from that to living in a really nice house by the sea in Lanzarote. 6 months. So next week, I'm going to talk you through what happened in that 6 months that was the big catalyst. What did we do next? So I want to just, to wrap up part one, highlight some. I remember I said to you at the beginning that you need to be all in, not just listening to me, but taking action. And I'm going to give you some tips for reflection at the end, and then some actionable next steps. So number one, self-taught is not smart. It doesn't make you any more worthy. It doesn't make you any more successful. It just takes you longer. I had to make way too many mistakes that I didn't need to make. Do you still rent your old house? I don't know who that's come up as, because it looks like I've just posted that comment, but I'm here and I clearly haven't. Who's done that? That's weird. I don't know if anyone else can see that. Unless it's my social media manager that's asking questions and she's logged in as me and doesn't realise. I don't know. Weird. No, we don't. We sold it. As soon as there was a lot of profit in it, we sold it. Because, but I'll get to that point. You're not allowed to ask that yet. No. So, self-taught is not smart. That's the first thing. Don't wear I've done it all alone like a badge of honour, because it will just take you ages. The other thing is about that tangible next step is getting it on paper. Remember I said I sat down and I went, what do I need to know that I don't know? What's stopping me right now? What's in my way? Get that on paper. What do you need to know that you don't know? What skill gaps have you got? What knowledge gaps have you got? What is it that you need in terms of strategy that's missing in your business right now? Get it on paper, because then you can start asking yourself, where is it the best place for me to go and get that help? Who's the best mentor for me? Who's the best coach for me? What's the best course program for me to learn this stuff now? That's the first step. Tip two, it's okay to fail, because it won't define your ultimate success. Success is built up from lots and lots of failures, lots of challenges, lots of tests, but you must never quit. Fail, that's okay. Fall on your face, get back up, but don't ever stay down. Don't stay down, because that's the only way that you give up on everything that you've ever wanted. Don't get so low that you start telling yourself, I can't do this, it's done, I might as well just get a job and forget about it. No. Every woman has $1 million business inside of them. There are no exceptions. None. I am no different to you. Cut me and I will bleed the same as you. I wasn't born into a privileged household that I didn't have any unfair advantage. We're built the same way. It's just what we choose to learn and how many times we choose to get back up. And there's no tangible next step for that other than just don't you fucking dare give up on you. Number 3, if things don't work out, see it as feedback that you need to adjust your sail a little bit. Because there's no point in doing the same thing over and over again. What I did wrong in the beginning was I knew that people got greedy in the nightclub business. I knew that people kept learning from us and then screwing us over, and I kept doing the same thing. You can't keep implementing the same strategy. My strategy to let's find someone we trust was not a strategy at all. It was idiocy. It's the definition of insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So the tangible next step for you here is, what's not working right now that you keep doing? Write it down. What's not working that I keep doing? What do I need to do differently? What do I need to change? Because you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. What bold action do you need to take? Number 4, don't be blindly skeptical about stuff. Don't look at things and go, oh, that seems too good to be true, or it can't be that easy, or don't be that person. Ask questions. If I'd have been blindly skeptical about things, situations, people, coaches I've invested in, opportunities I've taken, I'd have said no to everything. Do you know how many fucking people, and it winds me, and it does, not many things wind me up, but this gets on my goat. When people will comment on my stuff, like my ads, I might be sharing, for example, my freedom formula, how I've developed a consistent 100k months. And just today, on this page, on my ad, so if you're watching, shame on you, someone commented saying, well, if it was that easy to make 100k a month, everybody would be doing it. Even the doctors would be quitting their jobs to do what you do instead. What a load of horse shit. It's one of those scams where they get you to invest lots of... And I was like, you utter idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. You've decided in an instant to be blindly skeptical and actually take the time to voice your idiocy publicly, when you could have, in that time, asked the right questions. Of course it's not easy to earn 100k a month. No one said it did. It is. And of course, way more people would be doing it if it was easy, but it's not easy to build a business to that level. But what's being provided here is an opportunity for you to learn some things that will set you on that path. And instead of taking that, you've decided that you know it all and you're going to slam it instead. Shame on you. That's blind skepticism. It's something I've never done. You know, I'll look at something and I'm like, how's that work then? And I'll start exploring it a little bit more, and I'll do my research and I'll do my homework. And then I'll form an opinion. Not publicly though. I'll then form an opinion based on research and information. And that's why I've took more opportunities than maybe most. Number 5, take steps to change the things that are holding you back, because only you can do that. Only you can trade the job for a less demanding one so that you've got more time to build your dreams. Only you can downsize your house or rent it out and move in with parents for 6 months, or I don't know, sell loads, everything you own in your house and live on bare minimal to invest in yourself. Or I can't do that for you. No one can. You can sit moaning that it's too hard for you and making excuses that you have it harder than other people, or that there's things that are different for you, and that's what you can say. All that, it's not true. You are totally in control. Your life right now is a reflection of the decisions you've made this far. If you want it to be different, you've got to make different decisions. It is as simple as that. I say that with love. I'm not trying to beat you up, but I want the best for you. I want to see you win. And I know that if I'd have sat there going, oh, fucking hell, everyone's screwed me over, so I can't be successful anymore, and now I've got no money because he stole all my business, and now I can't pay my bills, so I can't invest in myself, I'm just going to have to go and get a job. I could have done that. Anyone can do that. It's easy. Number 6, you can turn anything into an opportunity. Anything, even the shittest of situations. If you stop seeing it as a reason why you can't be successful. If you stop seeing it like that and think, how can this be an opportunity? How could I turn having to sell my 4-bedroom detached house or rent it out, move out and move into a box of a caravan with only a few pairs of jumpers that could fit in the wardrobe? I mean, some could see that. I sell my car as well, my baby. How could I turn that? There's 2 ways of looking at that. Some people would go, you were on your arse, you lost everything. You couldn't even pay your own bills. You couldn't even pay your mortgage. You lost your car, you lost your house, you had to live in a caravan in a field. Some people could look at it like that. I looked at it like, okay, how can I spin this into an inspirational story that helps me grow my business? And that's what I chose to do. I saw it as a step on the journey to success, and I saw it as an opportunity to have something I'd never had before. And I articulated it that way, and it inspired people. And it was the catalyst to why the next 6 months were totally different. You can turn anything into an opportunity, but you've got to stop telling yourself that it's the reason you can't be successful, and start seeing it for what it is and thinking, how could this be an opportunity? How could this be a diamond in the rough? How could this be the best thing that's ever happened to me? Because one thing I know for certain is that we are constantly being guided to a path of abundance, total happiness, fulfillment and joy. That is meant for us from our birth, and I believe that. We're not meant to struggle. We're meant to live a life of freedom and abundance and inspire other people to do the same. And when we declare that that's the path we're going on, and we start just looking for guidance and help, it's there. It appears. I don't know how it works. I just know it does. And I'm going to be sharing some of that with you, because some of this has been strategy, no bullshit, and steps that I've had to take. And some of it has been guided, divinely guided, woo-woo as hell, wow moments. And that starts, I'm going to be sharing some of those with you next week. So part 1 is done. Part 2 is next week, same time as always, Soul Centered Millionaire TV. This will be episode 21. And I'm going to be sharing with you now what that 6 months looked like that took us from the caravan to living in Lanzarote in a really lush 4-bedroom villa. The strategy, but also some of the wow, take your breath away moments that was divine. It was, because I decided this is the path I'm on, and I'd gone, let's do this, universe, let's go. And the universe moves, it almost conspires to give you what you want. And that's what happened for me, so I'll be sharing some of that with you as well. Guys, if you've enjoyed today and you've got some value, some insights, then please share this, or tag people that you like, love, want to see succeed in this. Let's reach as many people as we can across these 4 weeks, because I honestly believe that ripple effect that's created when we choose to do something as simple as tag someone, share something, you'll never know the impact that can have, ever. Thank you so much. I'm going to watch Love Island now because it's that time. Lots of love.